Thank you, Mr. President. We rise on a solemn note today to recognize the life of Mr. Kobe Bryant. And, you know, January 26th, it was weird. Like, I generally don't come up here on Sundays, but, we had a really early meeting on Monday, so I was getting ready to come up. And my phone just started lighting up. I feel like I got more calls and text messages than when I got elected or when either one of my kids were born. And they were saying that Kobe Bryant had passed away. And at first I didn't believe it, and I didn't want to believe it, to be honest with you. It was like in my cousin's group chat. I talk about group chats a lot, and it was something from TMZ. I'm like, I'm not dealing with that. I got call after call and call after call, and it seemed to be real. And that affected me not only because it wasn't just a celebrity passing away. It was somebody that people in my age range, Mr. President, believed that we kind of knew him. He was on NBA Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad, and he used to rap with Tyra Banks and Brian McKnight. He actually had a few rap songs. Kobe can flow a little bit. If you're really interested, you should go back and listen to him. He wasn't bad. He actually was pretty good, Mr. President. But what really got me was when I was driving up, and I'm listening to sports radio on the way up, and there had been rumors that his daughter was on the helicopter as well, and when that was confirmed, that really, for me, crystallized it as a where were you moment in my life. I mentioned that was somebody who we saw, he took Brandy to the prom, right? He was on more episodes of Moesha than we care to remember. He was somebody that was kind of a part of our generation in terms of pop culture. Yes, 18-time All-Star, MVP. I don't know how he won he only won one MVP. They gave that other MVP to Steve Nash. Nothing against Steve Nash, but Kobe should have got that other MVP. Two-time gold medalist. His first points that he ever scored were in the Garden, Madison Square Garden. And obviously, as a Knicks fan, you hope that it would have been for us as opposed to against us, but it wasn't. And that was a lifelong appreciation of Kobe as a incredible athlete. February 2nd of 2009 was his, some of us in New York called it his Roger Maris game because he had 61 points. And at that time, that was the most points that had ever been scored in Madison Square Garden by an opponent. And I remember watching that game. It's like it was yesterday, the fadeaways, and he modeled his game after Jordan, and Kobe perfected his fadeaway. Jordan became fadeaway Mike after he was Air Jordan. Kobe was doing fadeaways in his prime. And I just remember the show that he put on in the Garden. And if you can look on social media, he signed the scorecard for that game and gave it to Spike Lee, noted Knicks fan, and said, "Spike, this expletive is your fault." Because Spike used to talk to him at half court, but like courtside, I should say. And it's one of those things where you just remember where you're at. Fourth overall in NBA scoring, and I guess the cruel irony was that the night before he passed away was when LeBron James overtook him as the fourth leading scorer in NBA history in Kobe's hometown of Philadelphia. And one of his hometowns, you should say, because he grew up in Italy. And that shows what intelligence is. Kobe Bryant didn't go to college, as many of us know, but he spoke 3 languages fluently: English, Spanish, and Italian. And he dabbled in Chinese and German, I believe, as well. He was a worldly individual without ever attending college, which shows us what truly intelligence is. Some other things that I'll note about Kobe, about sneaker culture. I'm a big sneakerhead, so as they say. And the Nike Flight Posits came out. They came out in metallic gold and metallic purple because primarily they were trying to woo Kobe Bryant into signing with Nike. And there's like a special edition of a Flight Posit that had like a Kobe tag on it, but he ultimately went to Adidas, and it had his first sneakers called the Crazy Eights. They were nice sneakers, but what happened around 2006, 2007 when he went back to Nike, he started wearing low tops again. And that was really revolutionary, it was revolutionary because those of us who play basketball or try to play basketball, we were always told that don't wear low top sneakers, you're gonna hurt your ankles. And they used to play in the Pumas back in the day when Clyde Frazier, but nobody in the modern NBA had attempted to wear low tops. Kobe brought those back. And now if you see the KDs, the Giannis Antetokounmpos, the Paul Georges, a lot of NBA players are wearing low-top shoes, and Kobe kind of brought those back into style. I had two pairs of, I still have actually, two pairs of Kobe 5s. And rarely, I have so many sneakers that I don't wear them out, but I've worn out the bottom of those sneakers so much because I'm a big Kobe fan, and they were really light, responsive, and they were perfect for playing basketball. So it shows that he was onto something. He was really onto something in his post-NBA career. He won an Oscar for Dear Basketball. He was somebody who many of us know as a pop culture reference. I don't care where you're at, what you were doing. If you're balling up a piece of paper, at one point in your life, you balled up a piece of paper and said, Kobe, I know you did. Because I actually, the week before he passed away, at the State Police Gym where we play basketball on Tuesdays, I on a couple of fadeaways one that I made, one that I missed, I definitely uttered a couple of Kobe's. It's not going to go away. It shouldn't go away. But the thing that got me the most about his post-basketball career was that he was a father. And even in LeBron James's remarks at the first Laker game that they had since he passed away, he mentioned that, yeah, he was a great player, but in the last 3 years, we saw that he was the best dad that we've ever got to see. Being the father of daughters is special. Mr. President, you know full well how special it is. There's a special bond between father and daughter, and there seemed to be a special, even more special bond between Kobe and Gianna, his daughter that unfortunately was with him when the helicopter went down. And maybe that's why I'm just so still taken aback by this. Maybe it's the fatherhood aspect. Maybe it's because I saw him grow up, or I grew up while Kobe was growing up. But that fatherhood piece, seeing clips of his daughter emulating him in so many ways on the court. And to me, that I can't imagine anything as a father not being powerless when your child is facing something as tragic as death. And that's what I really want to stress to everybody. It's bigger than basketball and bigger than his career, his legacy, his name, anything like that. He was a father. He was a person who understood family and cared for his family. And this should just remind you to give people their flowers while they can smell them, man. Like, you just don't know what time you have left. If you love somebody, tell them you love them. If you appreciate somebody, tell them that you appreciate them. Because the next time might not be the next time. That may not happen. He was supposed to help Dwight Howard in the dunk contest this All-Star weekend coming up. He mentored so many young players in the NBA. Shaquille O'Neal's son got a tattoo about him. He did so many things that you can read that I'm not going to take the time and belabor the point any further, but just, love the people that you love and tell them that you love them. Because at some point, you're not going to be able to tell them that anymore. And he was somebody that we looked up to. Mr. President, we got to do this one. Kobe. Thank you, Mr. President.